Big Bear Lake State Forest Campground is located in the northern part of Michigan's Lower Peninsula, just a short drive to the east of Gaylord and south of Vienna Corners, and is located on the north part of Big Bear Lake. There are two campgrounds here, so don't mistake this one for Big Bear Point. This one is, in fact, Big Bear Lake, and it's a little bit bigger than Big Bear Point. This campground has 31 campsites to offer, several of which can accommodate a 30-foot-long trailer, even larger if you can squeeze things in just right. This campground has a really long span. It spans across the north shore of the lake. Instead of doing a big loop, it expands left and right. And the entire length of the campground has a really nice sandy beach area for swimming and just getting out into the water with canoes and kayaks. There is not a boat launch here at this campground, so if you want to launch a boat, you have to go to Big Bear Point, which has the only boat launch for the lake. However, as of right now, this boat launch is closed for updates and repairs, and I didn't see anything that said when it would open. It's mid-June 2024, and it will reopen sometime this year, but for now, you can only launch craft that you can put into the lake by hand. Apparently something has caused the lake levels to rise quite a bit recently, and the locals are asking for no-wake lake rules and to avoid the shoreline so we don't cause any additional erosion compared to what's already being caused by the higher water levels. The campground billboard and registration station is a little weathered and has some information about the lake and the area around here. And again, after the registration station, you have the option to go left or right in the campground. And I chose to go right to start off and to take a look at the campsites here. Almost all of the campsites are on the lakeside. There's only a handful that are not lakeside. All of the lakeside sites have a great view of the water, and they're pretty deep. The one thing that the sites do lack that I value is shade. There's not a whole lot of shade trees in this campground that are on the lakeside sites, and that's the majority of the sites. I'm not saying there's no trees. Clearly you can see that there are some trees. There's just not enough to create a whole bunch of shade if that's something that you like during the heat and when the sun is out. You can see here you can walk right down to the beach, and there is a little bit of a fence here that you can go down to and a bit of a step to get down to the water, but it is a nice sandy beach area. Definitely something that kids will enjoy, or even yourself if you're viewing this as an adult and it's a really warm day. You can see right down through here they have the seawall and some random little ramp. I don't know what that's for. It's too far down to launch something off of. Maybe it's just meant to be a really weird slide. I'm not really sure. Moving on. We're going to walk through and take a look at some of the campsites here, and you can see the sites are all about the same. They have picnic tables, fire rings, and they have a really great view of the north side of the lake. Like I said, there are sites that are not lakeside on the opposite side of the road. Either way, you're going to get a little bit of wind off the lake. We're going to check out this water pump because I like to do that and make sure they work. It's surprising how many I have found doing this that do not work. But you do have good water here. If you didn't, the other campground is just up the road. Like I said, a very short distance, but you do not have to worry about that. Going to continue on farther down the road. This lake supposedly has some pretty good bass fishing for both large and smallmouth bass. There are supposedly rock bass and bluegill and some yellow perch, as well as some walleye fishing that people like to do out here on the lake, catfish and bullhead. So plenty of fishing opportunity. We're going to check out the outhouses because, again, it's a thing I do. Outhouses are not too badly maintained. They don't smell. We're going to launch the drone here in the air and take a quick look at the lake. It's a beautiful sky out there right now. It was super windy today. The wind just happened to die down. And again, panning over the campground, you can see they're almost like cookie cutter campsites. They all line up just right along the water. Plenty of space for trailers. You could definitely fit a couple tents, a couple vehicles, back a boat in here. Since you can't put your boat in the water, we're going to fly out over the lake some, take a look at the shoreline to the left, and then we'll just scope out the lake. I love the look of the sky. The clouds are hardly moving and they're so huge. There's a little glimpse of the campground again. This is on the left side if I would have turned left down the road. And you can see a trailer backed in there. The campground was not full, but this was a midweek day and it was very early in June, like I said. I think it's something like the 8th or 7th. Getting up over top of the campground, again, you can see there's not a lot of trees here. Plenty of space for 31 campsites. There's a boat parked off to the side there because they weren't able to launch it. Hopefully that gets resolved soon, but the boat launch area is really ripped up right now. A lot of equipment parked over there. The water just got super calm and super still. You can see that pontoon working its way across the lake. And again, it's a decent-sized lake. Even if you were to scoot across the middle of the lake and make a wake, you're not going to disturb that shoreline a whole lot as long as you're not too close to it.